If you've tuned in thinking this is going to be a cycling vlog, you're probably not going to get what you're expecting. I know nothing about cycling, I know nothing about the kit, I don't even know how to maintain my bike right now, but I am here to learn. Not all the content is going to be about bikes. This is all about my adventures around the UK, and some of those are going to be on a bike. At the moment, that's what I have to hand. And that's what I've been working on for a while. So yeah, I've got loads of exciting things planned for over the winter and also for next year. So come along for the ride. I bought what was supposed to be a hybrid bike last year, and I'm pretty sure it's more of a mountain bike, to be honest, but it does the job. I started cycling in the pandemic, and I started on a folding bike, so I got that in like April, May time last year. And a few years back, I had this idea to cycle 500 miles. Now, the funny thing is, up until 2 weeks ago, I thought that achieving 500 miles was a really, really big thing. And I thought that it was all about achieving this distance. Since I did a cycle tour around the Viking Coastal Trail, I realised that it isn't actually the distance. And I'll cut to that video where I talk about like my realisation of that.
Made it back after 23 miles of cycling. We did some off-roading, up some hills, down some hills, some scary moments along a coastal promenade with no fence where the sea was right up against it. So I've had a shower and actually I felt really, really good at the end of the trip. And then suddenly, now I'm back. My eyes are bloodshot, everything is starting to ache. But yeah, so there's this weird etiquette with cyclists where you run into people, and we were so proud of our 23 miles, and as I said, it's like off-roading, and it was some really tough bits. Like there was one bit that wasn't even a mile long, and it was the hardest thing that we've ever done. But then you get another girl, like we were in the lift on the way back at the station, and went, "Oh, we've cycled 23 miles." Like, yeah, so proud. And then there was two girls in this lift. She asked her friend, "What did you do?" 63. I didn't actually hear it. My friend V had to tell me afterwards. And she was like boasting about this distance, and I'm like, actually, you had a completely different bike to us, and it was a completely different kind of trip. And yeah, 63 miles is a fucking achievement, of course, but it's actually not about the distance at all. It's about the I was reading something earlier that said it's about the journey, but it doesn't really quite make sense for this. But it's like, yeah, it's about what we achieved and where we went and what we did, and it's pretty cool.
But I had this plan to reach 500 miles. Years ago, I got my bike, did a bit of cycle training, and then just didn't continue. So I sold my bike sort of the year before the pandemic and thought that it would never, I thought that I'd never ride it again. And then something called COVID-19 happened around the world, and it sort of changed everything, right? So my partner got a bike to get to work, and I decided that it was time to like give it a go again. So it's taken me a long time. Loads of people cycle way further distances in the space of a week even. It might not seem like a massive distance to some people, but it's a personal achievement, and I started from zero confidence. I basically didn't really ride a bike when I was a kid. Like I did learn to ride very late. I think I was about 13 when I could finally ride a bike. Yep, that's old. It happened. A lot of people took the mick about that, but what can you do? It just wasn't one of those things that happened for me. So I finally learnt to ride when I was in my early teens, and then I just didn't have anywhere to go and ride my bike. So I basically had to relearn and like remember and build confidence from nothing to cycle on the roads when I was an adult. So I had some cycle training about 7-8 years ago, which really helped, and then I just didn't ride my bike at all. So now like this distance or this little marker is a massive deal to me. So it just goes to show, like, you can be terrified of something, not have any confidence to do it, but it just takes practice, and the more you do something, the easier it becomes. And that sounds quite cliched, but that's what happened. And I actually love cycling. I still sometimes get a little bit nervous, especially cycling on new roads and new routes in London, but I've done it. So yeah, what's next? So I've been working towards this target since the start of the pandemic, which is pretty mad, and I know a lot of people cycle a lot more miles, but I started from nothing. So I'm just about to set out to do 6 miles to London Bridge, because it is really, really rainy, and I need to do 5 more miles to hit my 500-mile target. So let's not let the rain pass off, and here we go. And there's a little something later to celebrate. In short, I'm on 495 miles, so by the end of this I should be on 501. 500 miles, here we come. I've done it. 506 miles. So I've gone 6 miles over my target. It's only taken me a year and a half, and I got absolutely drenched. My my waterproof jacket is not waterproof. Hooray! When I achieved my 500 miles, what had I planned to do? Get a tattoo. So I got a cog tattooed to mark my 500 miles. Now this plan was before I realised that the distance didn't matter, but it is like a personal achievement to me, and I did it. Now I want to do another target and a slightly bigger cog, but what should it be? I was thinking 1,500, because that would be another 1,000 miles, but I don't feel like that is the right target anymore. Maybe it should be 5,000 miles. I mean, it took me a year and a half to get to 500, but let's up the ante. But maybe it shouldn't even be distance. Like, what should it be? What should that next cycling target be? Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this vlog, please like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought in the comments.